Is like what we understand to be Star Wars, like the idea that like that only came from George Lucas, that only George Lucas holds the key for what we understand to be Star Wars is just untrue.
Yo people, happy new year, and let's start the year by getting the channel to 500 subs. It would be massively appreciated. Now the first video of the year is going to be about the upcoming Star Wars flop named The Acolyte, the show directed by Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, the same organization that fired Johnny Depp without any evidence, and even before a final verdict was even close to being reached. Anyways, out of curiosity, what does a former personal assistant know about directing at a high level for a big franchise? Absolutely nothing, but Disney Star Wars enjoys hiring unqualified clowns that are self-proclaimed activists that want to push all this wokeness into their shows. They want to preach about their world rather than hiring the real storytellers who understand Star Wars.
A superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world.
This show is going to be a woke mess, and I'll show you exactly why. Let's start out with that intro vid that you just heard. I'll play you the full clip right now of what Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant had to say.
This is like what we understand to be Star Wars, like the idea that like that only came from George Lucas, that only George Lucas holds the key for what we understand to be Star Wars is just untrue. And I think the prequels are an excellent example of that. I mean, the idea that like when you're hiring a director, that everyone is sitting in there waiting for George Lucas and not for the person who's going to know to hire Ralph McQuarrie, that's the problem. That's the misogyny and the problem with the auteur myth as it stands today, because they're not thinking this is the person that will hire the right people and this is the person that will be able to create the lookbooks and direct people to get them to that place. They're just thinking, do you have all the answers? And the truth is that nobody does.
Amazing. 50 seconds of chatting shit. Congratulations. You talk about misogyny and she's saying all these things about why should George Lucas be the only one to know what Star Wars is. I'm not sure, maybe because he created the whole thing. So bear in mind what she said about George Lucas for the following clip. This was at Star Wars Celebration, which I attended last year. You've heard the story before if you've been supporting for the last, I don't know, nearly a year. So Dave Filoni had just gone on stage. He got emotional due to all the support he received from the audience. Then she came right after, and she wasn't really getting cheered or anything. She got quite a dry reception. And then she tried to do the crying act to get people to react and cheer her on. But people in the crowd were just laughing and cringing. Even kids near where I was standing were laughing. Only a few women cheered, but I wonder why.
Star Wars saved my life. Like,
I wonder why she never said her thoughts on George Lucas at Star Wars Celebration. She had the microphone, the stage was hers. Since she felt so passionate about it, why didn't she say anything? That was her moment to speak her mind, but instead, oh, Star Wars saved my life. So George Lucas's creation apparently saved your life, but you're quick to jump on other podcasts and talk shit about him. Interesting world we live in. And if you thought this couldn't get any more cringe, this actress that will be in the show decided to say, hold my beer, and proceeded to unleash this statement.
My character, she's a powerful leader. Yes, yes. In a very woman-centered world. Star Wars is very, like, patriarchal.
I recognized your foul stench when I was brought on board.
Your vision is flawed.
Anyways, let's move away from these idiots and have a look at the rumours and the supposed leaks for this Acolyte show. So we already saw the reports about how the director will put her own queer identity all over this show. The main character is going to be played by Amanda Stenberg, who identifies as non-binary. By the way, at Star Wars Celebration, she was the only person with professionalism, not trying to jump on this inclusion and representation agenda, even though she's non-binary and should be doing it in theory. So I got respect for her. I hope it goes well for her. On top of all of this show will have the first ever transgender actor in Star Wars. Another tick on the inclusion list. I'm sure we all want inclusion. Just give me a good character, a good storyline to get behind, and I do not care black, white, Asian, Muslim, Christian, don't care. Just give me the good story. When it's forced, as you've witnessed, where the whole selling point of this show is it's inclusive, it has female leads, that's where I start calling it woke. This is what I have a problem with, when they force it down your throat. I'm not right wing or left wing. I don't have a problem with any community. I have a problem with Disney and the million/billion-dollar companies using people's identities and beliefs to gain money, but they disguise it under the buzzwords that all these social media merchants use, such as empowering, representation, inclusion, diversity.
They're incredibly diverse. Just the diversity of this cast. There's representation.
It has such diversity, such inclusion.
Another the theme is just how diverse this cast is and what they represent. So many people will see themselves represented in it. It's like a diverse cast of superheroes.
I love about being a part of this universe is the diversity and the inclusion.
They spoke about representation. They spoke about diversity, inclusion.
At the end of the day, they don't care about any of us, but people think that they do because they get included in one show, one movie. For the LGBT community, for example, as soon as it's time to sell any LGBT stuff over to China and the Middle East, that community just gets wiped out of everything without hesitation, so these companies can get the money from those nations. Now, I wouldn't call that empowering, would you? Even the Force Awakens posters. This is Finn in the original poster, and this is him in the China version of the poster. But I'm supposed to believe that Disney stands for inclusion and representation. Let me show you another example. Black Panther. Now, this is the one you all know, and this is the China version. What the fuck is that on his face? One more for Disney. Was them filming Mulan near a concentration camp where Muslims get tortured in China. Amazing representation, Disney. You've outdone yourself. Let's go into leaks about the plot. And Amandla will be playing twins, while Manny Jacinto will also be playing twins. Where have I seen Force-sensitive twins before? Now, one of each of the twins will be training in the ways of the Jedi, and the other will be a Sith. Now, the idea overall sounds interesting. It's almost like a what if Leia was a Sith and Luke was a Jedi, or vice versa. However, with the writing abilities of Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, I can't help but think they will mess this up and this will turn out trash. They'll try and pull off some surprise shock using the twins' identity. Oh, which one is which? This show takes place towards the end of that new High Republic era, the one from the books and the comics that they've been pushing a lot, but hardly anyone reads. It's about 100 years before the Phantom Menace. It gives these morons the chance to ruin canon before the Skywalker saga. And we already know they're going to use Yoda because Yoda is old enough to be alive during this time. We've seen him in the comics. He's in other shows. Rumors are saying that we could even see a Darth Plagueis too. Both characters appearing sounds cool, but again, do I trust the writing of a former personal assistant to be dealing with high caliber stuff? Absolutely no. But yeah, as always, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and if you're new around here, thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.